We've just removed all of the canvas off of the deck here.
Big decks.
Yeah, it feels so much more open. It's huge. We're doing that because we're actually moving the boat for the first time today on our own. Like, we took it out for a little loop when we came to check out the boat with the broker, but this is our first time moving it like just ourselves after owning it. We're going to be heading over to the fuel dock to get a little bit of fuel before we go on the slings. We're going to be hauling out because we are replacing the shaft seal on the boat. It's recommended that you do it every 5 years, so we just ordered one in and just feel a little bit safer with a new one. So that's the plan. If you're new to our channel, we're here in Panama where we've just bought a new to us 45-foot custom aluminum sailboat that we're getting to know and getting offshore ready. And Chris helping us here just in case. The more the merrier.
That's fine, huh?
Never hurts.
We're off! Oh man, I got the jitters! It's so exciting. I have a basic idea of how this thing operates, but basic. Very basic idea.
Well, you're looking good, Cap.
Oh, thanks. It's easy when you're out in the open. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so the birds that are on our anchor, there is a little hatchling.
What just happened?
And the parents are probably going to be pretty confused when they see that the boat has moved. The fuel barge is right outside of the marina entrance, and tying up to anything for the first time, let alone in an unfamiliar boat, makes me kind of nervous. But we had lots of help, and Travis did excellent.
Yeah, so I gotta go here and then over to that side. Okay.
So that's something new because where we fill the tank is actually on both sides. This side. And then we've got another one on this side. What we've decided to do is just test with filling the tank a little bit with like 5 gallons right now, because when we came to check the boat out, we noticed that in the bilge there was a little bit of diesel, like remnants from it, and we weren't sure if it was one of the tanks leaking or if there was an instance where the previous owner had accidentally flipped the diesel transfer switch instead of the water transfer switch, and then it ended up flooding. So because we don't know, we just wanted to test it with a little bit of fuel going to the tank first, just to make sure that it's not a leaky tank before we fill it, you know, all the way.
Oh, can you see what it is?
How's it look? They've stopped filling. They've
Yeah,
just put that in.
Oh. You alright?
Yeah, there we go.
Like, they don't look good.
They don't look good, or they don't
No,
look...
the tanks actually look really good. Yeah. What's that beeping?
Oh, it's a warning. The external AIS. Got to get used to all the new beeps on the boat.
Okay. Continue onwards.
Looks good. We're going to continue filling. We mentioned in last week's episode that along with multiple water tanks, we now also have multiple diesel tanks and are still learning how all of that works.
Yeah, big time. It's quite full, actually. This is quite full.
Oh, yeah. I see that from here.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. Okay.
That's cool. That works, yeah.
Yeah.
So my understanding so far is that when we fill the tank, it fills into diesel tank number 3, and then we have to transfer them via the switch to the other 2 tanks, right? Oh, right. So tank 1 is always really clean because we fill tanks 2 and 3, which then get transferred through some filters into tank 1. So tank 1 is where the engine pulls from. So you essentially have the cleanest diesel going into the engine every time. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so
cool.
Let's go to the other side.
So now we're going to go to the other side and fill the other tank. That was really neat. They give us a sample of the diesel that we put in our tank. So if there's ever like an issue, they know what they put in. So now we're going into the slings. There's nothing like moving from a side tie to a tight spot, but here we come.
Our step, go to the bow.
There's slings right here.
Yep.
A little stressful, none of our lines were long enough.
Yeah.
We had to throw secondary lines so they could extend it.
The only problem is I don't know where the there's no sling marks.
Oh,
Right. So that's kind of important.
we don't have sling marks.
Yeah, there's none of those put in yet.
Learning.
Learning.
So what Travis was saying is that we don't have sling markers on the hull, like they weren't put in, so we have no idea where the sling should really go underneath, so we're kind of just floating on top. But one of the marina workers here is actually going to dive in. You're all ready to jump in and do your sacrificial swim like always.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna. That's insane. This marina's great.
Yeah. We've mentioned in the past with our previous boat that we had concerns with where the slings sit when hauling out because we had a front-facing sonar. We don't have one on Jibsea II, but it's still important to make sure the slings aren't sitting on the prop shaft in the aft of the boat.
Gotcha.
We're really excited to see her out of the water for the first time. What's different about Jibsea II than most aluminum sailboats is that she has a fixed keel, and her draft is 6.5 feet. She's got a skeg-hung, semi-balanced rudder, which means it's got the strength and protection of a skeg rudder with the performance of a spade rudder.
Cool to actually see the shape of the hull. Ooh, she looks good.
As soon as she was out of the water, Travis got to work with her prop shaft seal.
Woo! It's hot and sweaty. Alright, so this is what we're going to be replacing. It is a shaft seal, and it keeps the water outside the boat. The one we have, this is a carbon seal, and it matches up to a stainless steel shaft, and that right there, and the friction between the moving propeller and this creates a watertight seal. Just the one we have here, the bellow, which is this, looks kind of compressed, like someone's already compressed it. And when we first got the boat, it was kind of leaking. The carbon seal looks a bit rough, and they're not known to have catastrophic failure, but still, if we can get it done right now, I just feel much better leaving here with that installed. And we went with the silicone ones. Other ones, they're like just a rubber, and those are only good for 5 years, they say. The silicone ones are the pro version. You get 10 years out of these apparently. So anyways, let's get it installed. Hopefully everything goes smooth. That's what we got right now, and you can just kind of tell it doesn't look the greatest. So I was able to take all 6 of these bolts off. I wish I had liner coat to coat those in, but
It's so loud because they're pressure washing.
yeah. So here's the key. I'm hoping this slides out, but I gotta remove that now. And if that slides down, then this should be a nice little fix. Oh, there's lots of water in there though. Yes. So that's, I think, there it is. Come on. I don't want to go downstairs again. Oh, I'm so close. I think I gotta go downstairs and smack from the propeller one more time. I heard that. There it is. Beauty. And then that one comes out. So as you can see, it looks fine, but I think best to replace. Peace of mind, because if this hole ever needs to be plugged, it's almost impossible. So best just to have it replaced.
We also made sure to debung the little paddle wheel on our transducer, which helps us measure speed through the water. Thank you. And we're back in the water. That was really quick. We were out for like 2 hours.
I gotta go down and look if it's leaking or not.
We did a quick lap around the bay to make sure everything was looking, sounding, and spinning all right before making our way back to the marina slip, which again is another nerve-wracking moment. But Travis backed us in like we're not people who anchor 99% of the time. We're docked! Update on the bird. So we were worried that the parents would just flee after realizing that the nest was gone. But I guess we weren't gone long enough that they found their way back. We just saw one of the parents sitting right on our tow rail, and they probably gone out to go get food or something. And yeah, they're still in the area, which is nice. We don't feel so guilty for moving the boat.
As much as we need them to
Grow and fly.
vacate,
Yeah.
grow and fly and vacate, it was nice that they came back.
Oh, great. We're all done before the sun went down.
Yeah, that took 2 hours, which
Which
is
quick.
probably pretty good. Literally hammered it out, got it in, got it off, got it in. And
Did a little loop around the bay to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah, it said it might leak for an hour, but it needs to burn in the shaft seal with the coupling. But the moment I put it on, it was solid, didn't leak, and I even burped the system to make sure we had no air bubbles in there, even though there's an air tube. But anyways, I was feeling the, give me this. It's called the carbon graphite flange. I felt the carbon graphite flange.
Say that 3 times fast.
I felt the carbon graphite flange with the stainless steel flange, and they were getting a bit warm. Even though there was an air hose to allow air to come through, I think it still needed like a really good burp. But I have this thing so pressed, like I can't move the flange off of each other. It's so tight. Because that's the difference between the silicone and the rubber one. The rubber one's just like, it's kind of flimsy. The silicone one is like full solid. It's totally solid. Like you can't even push it. When you put it on the shaft, where it sits normally, you're supposed to make a mark, and then you're supposed to compress the bellow 20 millimeters. I pushed as hard as I possibly could, and I got 18 millimeters. So I couldn't push any harder than that. So I'm going to muck with it again still, see if maybe I can get it a little bit more, but I think 18 mils is pretty good. And then I'm going to just finish everything up, because I got to put Loctite on the set screws inside the flange, or the coupling. Got to tidy up a little bit, but yeah, I got it done. Happy.
And we're not sleeping on the hard, so I'm happy.
Yeah, and that's pretty much why we're not sleeping on the hard. Because Steph said, "Nuh-uh, this needs to get done tonight because we're not sleeping
So
without air
good.
conditioning. We can't deal with that right now."
All right now. I went to the grocery store for 2 hours on the bus with the marina here, came back, and now Travis is a professional welder.
I wouldn't say that.
They say full-time cruisers truly gotta be jacks of all trades. And now, being aluminum boat owners, Travis tries his hand at welding, under the patience and supervision of fellow Canadian cruiser and welder Darcy. Hit the subscribe button. Next week, we'll be showing you how Travis's first time welding went on our beast of a dinghy that we've always wanted. Thanks for watching.